Performance Assessment Development by Brittany Knowles. This presentation goes through a performance task and understands why it's important for teaching students and the ways that we can assess students' understanding of their learning. So why performance tasks? Performance tasks give students the opportunity to showcase what they've learned in a fun and realistic way. To prepare students for success, Brookhart suggests to give students a copy of the task and scoring guides at the beginning. The class should review the task and post it somewhere in the room. When the task is posted in the room, students are more successful because they have a visual appearance of what's expected. The standard and learning targets for this performance task are to write an informative, explanatory text in which they introduce a topic, use facts and definitions to develop points, and provide a concluding statement or section. The learning targets are: I can understand that an informative text contains facts and information. I can introduce my animal report to an audience. I can support my animal topic with learned facts and information. I can write a strong supported conclusion to end my animal report. All of these learning targets directly relate to the standard. To deconstruct the standard that was listed on the previous slide, we have to think about the student's knowledge and understanding of the standard. In order for them to be successful, they must first understand that an informative text is nonfiction and provides facts and information. They must also understand that when writing an informative piece, they need to include a topic sentence which introduces their topic, or in this instance, their animal. They have to give facts to support their main idea and end with a conclusion. Some of the learning targets that would go with knowledge are: I can understand that an informative text contains facts and information. I can remember to include an introduction, facts, and a conclusion when writing an informative piece. To deconstruct the standard with reasoning, students must be able to communicate their facts and information in an animal report. Since the purpose of this text is to teach about a topic, students need to accurately communicate the information to their audience. Some of the learning targets are: I can use information from nonfiction texts and videos to identify facts about an animal. I can use my notes to write an animal report. I can teach and educate other readers about an animal I am interested in. For students to be able to teach and educate, they need to first understand what an informative text is. It all builds upon one another. To deconstruct the performance skills, students need to be involved with their writing. They should introduce the topic to their audience. Within their report, they should include supporting details and learned facts. By doing so, students will prove that they understand the skills. Some of these learning targets are: I can introduce a topic of informative text to an audience. I can support my topic with key points and learned facts. I can write a strong, supported conclusion for my informative text. Last but not least, the product. For students to show their understanding, they should be able to write an animal report, including their animal's appearance, habitat, diet, and 3 additional facts. When doing so, they need to include a clear introduction, supporting facts, and a strong conclusion. All of these 4 topics and the way that we deconstruct the standard relates all back to our students' understanding. We need to see if they really do reach the standard. The way that we'll do this is through a performance task. We have some very exciting news for our students. The Scholastic News is doing a special edition of Animals Around the World. The student's job is to write an animal report to be published in this magazine. Students have prior knowledge of Scholastic News articles because we read them frequently in the classroom. They would be really excited to do this. Especially in my classroom, students loved learning about animals in our science unit, so this would build upon that, and we'd cross-curricular and go over between science, writing, and reading. The students' goals, or learning targets, will be: I can understand that an informative text contains facts and information. I can introduce my animal report to an audience. I can support my animal topic with learned facts and information. I can write a strong supported conclusion to end my animal report. The students' role is they will be writers for the Scholastic News Animal Around the World edition. Their audience is students and educators around the country. Towards the bottom of their performance task sheet, they will have a What to Do section. This is their procedure. They should choose an animal, use nonfiction text and videos to gather information, record facts on their animal report graphic organizer, and then to end, they need to provide all of these details into their writing. They should draw 2 pictures to support their topic, write a report including their animal's appearance, habitat, diet, and facts. In my classroom, students work really well with checklists, so I decided to put a checkbox next to each part, and the students will receive a paper copy of this performance task to have at their desk. I will also post it in front of the room for students to see anytime they need a reminder. This is the student's rubric. It looks very similar to the performance task at the bottom. It has those check boxes. The student's goal is to either exceed expectations or meet expectations, and you can see how they can get those points. I used numerical values, so if you see on section 5, if they write 6 or more facts or details, they would exceed expectations. If they provide 6 facts, then they would meet the expectation. As you go lower and lower, the facts start to get a little bit smaller. This is the teacher rubric. It looks very similar to the student rubric, except I took the check boxes out. The number of facts will be the same, so the teachers can evaluate the students in the same way. This would be very easy for others, because they'd be able to look at the students' work and decide how many facts do they have. By thinking with the end in mind and taking the backwards approach, instruction can be designed based on what educators want the students to know and be able to do as a result of their learning. We should decide the standard and our students' learning targets prior to deciding how they're going to get there. I also did the keys to quality assessment to decide if my rubric was really good and acceptable for my students' learning. I decided to give myself a 5 rating for Key 1 and Key 2. The users will be creating an animal report with specific criteria. The users are my students. They will show their understanding by describing specific animals' appearance, habitat, diet, and 3 additional facts. In Key 2, students will reflect their achievement goals for this performance task. The standard specifically states that if they master this, they will be able to write an informative text that introduces a topic and gives facts and information. For Key 3, 4, and 5, I felt like my design was easy to read and easy to understand. The goals are clearly outlined with numerical value. The communication is clear, which is so important for our students. We have to make sure that if we're providing them with a rubric, it's easy for them to read and understand, and that the language is acceptable and student-friendly. The student-centered rubric shows that students will be involved in the assessment process. The check boxes will help students when they're self-assessing and peer assessing. Thanks for listening. I hope you liked it. This would be a great performance task for any grade level. You can just tweak it a little bit and give students more time to find facts, maybe with extra support or scaffolding. It would be a great way for students to share with other classes what they've learned. They can do it like a presentation. Thank you.